I do not think Vaughn paid those guys. I am sorry to say this, but the arrest video is coming out soon from when they got arrested for the Duck case. In the video, you can see Muop and Seymour getting snatched at the airport. Now, Vaughn is gone, right? So how in the world are these guys paying for everything? Quando Rondo and his crew just cannot catch a break. Even with Lil Durk behind bars, he is still proving to be a serious threat to his enemies. He has deep pockets and a reputation to protect. And now, there are new reports suggesting he took things to another level. The rumor is that he went after one of his enemy's baby mothers because she threatened to snitch on him. This story is wild, and I am here to spill all the tea. Most people thought Durk was done catching cases. It looked like he had finally cleaned up his life. Just weeks before his latest arrest, he went on social media to tell the world that he had turned over a new leaf. He had cleared all his felony charges and was ready for a fresh start. Everybody should get a second chance in life. It is all about what you do with it, Durk said. Alhamdulillah, my background is wiped clean. I am not a felon anymore. Who would have thought? I want to thank everyone who helped push my vision forward. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That was not the only time he spoke about changing his ways. On August 18, 2024, he made a powerful statement, reaffirming his Muslim faith and stepping away from gang life. Do not label me as anything other than a man, a father, and 100% Muslim, he wrote on Instagram. He followed up with another post saying, I do not gangbang. I am a Muslim. What I meant is, you cannot do both. I am going to be the one to say it. So if you follow me as a brother, a friend, or an icon, follow me into this new chapter of life. My music will still reflect what I have seen and been through, but I am not telling you to go out and do it. There is a big difference. Despite all of this, it seems like Durk's past just will not let him go. His arrest in Miami on conspiracy charges shocked both fans and the entire hip-hop community. The charges are serious, and if things do not go his way, they could completely change his life and career. But Durk is standing firm. Reports say he plans to plead not guilty. Those close to him say he is keeping his spirits up. His biggest complaint? The jail food. Other than that, sources say he is getting along well with both staff and fellow inmates at FDC Miami. Insiders even describe him as super charming and agreeable, even while locked up. One thing about Durk, his loyalty runs deep. No matter what, he refuses to snitch. He is proving his commitment, even when everything is on the line. Loyalty can be a powerful thing, but sometimes it can also bring trouble. In Lil Durk's case, that loyalty might be what landed him in this situation. Court documents suggest that even after making it big, he was still out here moving for his people. It all goes back to November 6, 2020, a night that changed everything. King Von, one of Durk's closest friends, was shot and killed outside an Atlanta nightclub. What started as a fistfight between Von and Quando Rondo quickly turned deadly. CCTV footage captured the moment Von walked up to Quando and threw the first punch, knocking him to the ground. Von's crew jumped in, beating on Quando as the fight escalated. Then, everything spiraled out of control. In the middle of the chaos, one of Quando's affiliates, later identified as Lil Tim, pulled out a gun and started shooting. The crowd scattered as gunshots rang out. Von was hit multiple times in the torso. He was rushed to the hospital, but he did not make it. After Von's death, Durk did not waste time. According to court records, he started plotting revenge. Using coded messages, he allegedly told his OTF members he was ready to put money on Quando Rondo's head. His cousin, DeAndre Wilson, reportedly backed him up, promising that anyone involved in the hit would be rewarded with music deals under OTF. By 2022, the plan was in motion. Durk's people traveled from Chicago to San Diego, then made their way to Los Angeles. Allegedly, Durk himself provided the money for the operation. Once in LA, they met up with Con Grant, a key OTF member who had flown in on a private jet. Grant took charge of the setup, booking hotel rooms, buying ski masks, and renting 2 luxury sedans for the ambush. After tracking Quando's movements, the OTF shooters launched their attack. But things did not go as planned. Instead of Quando, his cousin Lil Pab was caught in the crossfire and lost his life. Quando managed to escape without a scratch. Following the failed hit, the group met up at an In-N-Out Burger, where they allegedly talked about payments with Con Grant before heading back to Chicago. If all of this is true, it would not be the first time Durk has avenged a lost friend or family member. His name has been linked to several revenge plots, including the deaths of his brother D-Tang and rapper FBG Duck. One of the most talked about moments was when Durk had someone take a picture of him in front of O-Block and King Von's mural. When asked about it, the person in the photo simply said, "Durk told me to do that." On June 7, 2021, tragedy struck again. Durk's older brother, D-Tang, was shot and killed outside a strip club in Harvey, Illinois. Word on the street was that a man named Stefan Mack was responsible. Months later, on January 7, 2022, Mack was gunned down outside the Youth Peace Center in Chicago. Surveillance footage showed gunmen stepping out of a car and opening fire, leaving Mack fatally wounded. A security guard was also injured but survived. Two men, Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell, were later indicted on murder-for-hire charges. Wilson was arrested and pleaded not guilty, but Powell is still on the run. One of the most infamous murders linked to Durk is that of FBG Duck, who was shot and killed in broad daylight in 2020. When Duck's killers were finally arrested, it only added more fuel to the fire surrounding Durk's name. In early 2021, rumors started spreading that a $100,000 bounty had been placed on someone's head. A federal informant from O-Block claimed that the person funding the hit also rewarded the shooters with custom O-Block chains. A video later surfaced showing King Von handing out chains to his crew, but people from Chicago whispered that it was actually Durk who paid for the hit and took care of the killers. None of this has been officially proven in court, but these claims paint a picture of someone still deeply connected to street life, no matter what he says about leaving it behind. The real question is whether Durk has truly changed or if his past has finally caught up with him. To figure out who really financed the O-Block gang members to take out FBG Duck, FBG Butter pointed to the suspect's arrest footage. Surprisingly, Muwop and C Murda were not arrested in O-Block. Instead, they were picked up at a private hangar, an unusual detail since most gang members could never afford to charter a private jet. By the time they were arrested, Von had already passed away. That means only one person had the kind of money to fly Muwop and C Murda out on a private jet, Lil Durk. FBG Duck was reportedly targeted because he disrespected a fallen gang member named Troy, who was close to both Duck and King Von. But Duck was not the only rapper who lost his life after mocking the dead. His close associate, FBG Cash, suffered the same fate after disrespecting Von's mural. When King Von was killed, Cash made things worse by taking a picture next to Von's mural, flipping off the camera. Instead of showing respect, he wrote a caption mocking Von's death. This did not sit well with Von's crew, especially Lil Durk, who was his closest friend. Durk quickly sent a warning through his song Computer Murderers rapping. Sneaking pics by Von's mural like Lil, bro won't come out and spin. Instead of backing down, Cash kept pushing the disrespect. He even rapped over the Computer Murderers beat, saying, "Von got clapped, you had us thinking he was stretched." His trolling did not stop there. In interviews, Cash continued mocking his enemies. When asked about his viral picture in front of Von's mural, he sarcastically said that Lil Durk told him to do it. It was not long before his enemies caught up with him. Lil Durk even posted an eerie warning on Instagram. "Do not be doing this. If you keep lingering and chasing, it will not end well." According to some of Cash's friends, a woman set him up. One of them said, "At 5 in the morning, you were too loose, riding around in the rack. Come on, bro, you knew better." On June 9, 2022, FBG Cash was driving through Chicago with a woman sleeping in the back seat. He stopped at a stop sign on the 1600 block of West 81st Street. Suddenly, another car cut him off. 3 men jumped out and started shooting. Cash managed to get out of his car and return fire, but he was outnumbered. He was rushed to Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, where he later died. Even with all these moves, Lil Durk was making big mistakes. The biggest? Trusting the wrong people. Word on the street is that a man named OTF Jam played a major role in the investigation that brought Durk down. And when you hear why Jam turned on Durk, you might even understand his reasons. There are two main rumors about why Jam snitched. One is petty, but the other makes Durk look like a ruthless and vengeful figure. The first rumor says Jam had been working as an informant for years. After serving 12 years in prison for attempted murder, he was released in 2022 and reportedly kept helping the authorities. The wildest part? He was allegedly wearing a wire around Lil Durk and other OTF members, feeding information to the feds. Despite Jam's past, Durk treated him like family. While Jam was locked up, Durk made sure he was taken care of, even covering his legal fees. "He held me down, I do not care what anybody says," Jam once said. Even after Jam got out of prison, Durk went above and beyond for him. He bought him a house, a car, and even gave him over $50,000 in cash. But despite everything, Jam still turned on Durk. According to sources, Jam decided to flip because when he got arrested again, Durk did not help him. He did not pay for his bond or cover his legal fees. Trenches News even spoke about this in an interview with DJ Academics. Some sources also claimed that when Durk found out Jam had secretly been working with the feds, he wanted revenge. But going after an FBI informant would bring too much heat. So instead, he allegedly targeted someone close to Jam, his child's mother, Octavia Redmond. It seemed like an ordinary day. Octavia, a well-liked postal worker, was delivering mail in Chicago's West Pullman neighborhood. Then, on July 19th, 2024, around noon, something terrible happened. As she went about her usual route, a stolen SUV pulled up near her. The driver was a 15-year-old suspect. Without hesitation, he stepped out, walked up to Octavia, and shot her multiple times at close range. She fell to the ground, critically wounded, while the shooter jumped back into the SUV and sped away. Octavia, who was 48 years old, was rushed to Christ Hospital in critical condition, but she did not survive. The Chicago Police Department immediately launched a major investigation. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service also stepped in, offering a $250,000 reward for any information leading to the suspect's arrest. Investigators worked tirelessly, reviewing surveillance footage and tracking the suspect's movements. A breakthrough came when they identified the stolen SUV. Then, an anonymous tip led them to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Months later, the suspect was finally arrested on a murder warrant. "He held me down, I do not care what anybody says," Jam once said. Even after Jam got out of prison, Durk went above and beyond for him. He bought him a house, a car, and even gave him over $50,000 in cash. But despite everything, Jam still turned on Durk. According to sources, Jam decided to flip because when he got arrested again, Durk did not help him. He did not pay for his bond or cover his legal fees. Trenches News even spoke about this in an interview with DJ Academics. Some sources also claimed that when Durk found out Jam had secretly been working with the feds, he wanted revenge. But going after an FBI informant would bring too much heat. So instead, he allegedly targeted someone close to Jam, his child's mother, Octavia Redmond. It seemed like an ordinary day. Octavia, a well-liked postal worker, was delivering mail in Chicago's West Pullman neighborhood. Then, on July 19th, 2024, around noon, something terrible happened. As she went about her usual route, a stolen SUV pulled up near her. The driver was a 15-year-old suspect. Without hesitation, he stepped out, walked up to Octavia, and shot her multiple times at close range. She fell to the ground, critically wounded, while the shooter jumped back into the SUV and sped away. Octavia, who was 48 years old, was rushed to Christ Hospital in critical condition, but she did not survive. The Chicago Police Department immediately launched a major investigation. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service also stepped in, offering a $250,000 reward for any information leading to the suspect's arrest. Investigators worked tirelessly, reviewing surveillance footage and tracking the suspect's movements. A breakthrough came when they identified the stolen SUV. Then, an anonymous tip led them to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Months later, the suspect was finally arrested on a murder warrant. If this theory is true, OTF Jam must have realized that street justice was not an option. So, he chose another way by working with law enforcement. But Jam might not be the only informant in Lil Durk's case. DJV recently made a shocking claim on social media. After reviewing Lil Durk's indictment, he said that at least 3 informants were involved. I carefully went through Lil Durk's paperwork, and there are 3 co-conspirators whose names are hidden, he revealed. One of them was one of the shooters. Another booked flights for the hitmen. The third leaked Quando Rondo's location in Los Angeles. These 3 are likely working with the feds against Durk and the other defendants. But what is even wilder? OTF Jam's name is not even in the official indictment. His supposed cooperation is only based on street gossip. In fact, the first time his name came up was when Chicago rapper King Yella mentioned it on social media. "I heard about someone named OTF Jam," Yella said. "They have been calling him a rat over and over. And basically," he said, "Okay, I am a rat? Well, watch this." Since Yella is connected to the GEDs, who are enemies of Lil Durk's BD crew, some people think he is just trying to stir up drama. But no matter what the rumors say, one thing is clear: Durk has not been staying low-key. In fact, he has been exposing himself through his own music and interviews. Durk's downfall was not just because of outside forces. He seemed to set himself up for failure. Fans online have found links between his lyrics and real-life crimes. His songs and public statements have given investigators a roadmap to his activities. When King Von was killed, many expected Durk to retaliate. But instead, he brushed off the pressure from fans, telling them to stop demanding that he avenge his fallen friend. "My brother was shot and killed because of violence. I really think the feds are watching us. Y'all tell me to get revenge, then turn around and make fun of us. You are not worried about lawyers, you would rather talk about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, like those blogs matter more than your own people," Durk rapped. Even though he acted like he did not care, the pressure to avenge Von's death clearly got to him. In an interview with DJ Academics, Durk spoke about the trend. "People used to say it a lot, but I think they were just trolling me for some reason. I just do not see those comments anymore. I do not know why," he said. His response suggested that something had changed. The comments had suddenly stopped. During the same interview, Durk also took shots at Lil Tim, the man who shot Von, making it clear that he did not see him as a real threat. "When a real gangster gets taken out by someone who is more like a nerd, you know what I mean?" Durk said. But Durk's biggest mistake was his music. Without realizing it, he exposed himself in multiple songs, making it easier for authorities to connect the dots. In his track Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, Durk seemed to reference Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil P, who was shot and killed. Fans immediately thought of the video of Quando Rondo crying in pain after Lil P's murder. The lyrics felt way too specific. Then in rumors, Durk went even further, seemingly bragging about putting money on his enemies' heads. But according to court documents, that was not just a rap lyric. Federal investigators got access to Durk's iCloud and found messages where he told his crew not to book anything in his name. But his OTF associates ignored him. They used a credit card linked to Durk and his record label to pay for travel expenses related to a hit. Ironically, Durk was warned about this kind of self-snitching in the same song. Gucci Mane, who was featured on Rumors, rapped, "Watch what you say, the feds are listening. They will take your lyrics, build a case, and use it against you." Unfortunately, Durk did not take that advice. But he was not the only one exposing himself. It turns out that someone close to him in OTF had been working with the feds the whole time. Lil Durk is not the only rapper accused of taking revenge on his enemies. Some of his closest friends in the industry have allegedly done the same. One of them is Young Gene Ace, who has ties to Durk and might have been involved in the murder of his longtime rival, Julio Folio. Just like Durk allegedly went after the people responsible for his brother's death, Ace is suspected of planning Fulio's murder as payback for his own brother's killing. During a YouTube interview, Ace was asked about his latest investment. His response made people believe he had financed a hit. But the real twist? Ace seemed to know Fulio's fate before it even happened. Hours before Fulio was killed, Ace made a now-deleted post on social media. The chilling part? Fulio was celebrating his birthday in Tampa that same day. Was it just a coincidence, or did Ace already know what was about to happen? While Ace's alleged involvement in Fulio's death is shocking, no rapper has ever been feared in the streets like King Von. He gained a reputation as one of hip-hop's most ruthless figures, with some even calling him rap's first serial killer. One of the most infamous cases linked to Von is the murder of female assassin Gakira Barnes, also known as K.I. She was rumored to have killed Black Disciples shooter O.D. Perry and even showed off a gun that many believed was taken from the scene of his death.